All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is a video for the 27th of March, 2020. You're going to get into a different side, a much more deadly side of the war, actually, compared to what the United States and Britain have dealt with in North Africa, the Atlantic, and also in Italy. Right now, we're going to start talking about the war on the Eastern Front. All right. So before we get into anything about the discussion here, when Hitler made his pact with Stalin, we talked about this when we were in school. Do you think he ever intended to see it through until the end of the war? So remember we talked about the reasons Hitler did that. If you want to review information, you can go back and check that out. It's the Non-Aggression Pact, but you can go back and see kind of how or what were Hitler's intentions, and did he ever intend to keep that pact through the end of the war? All right, so think about that. You want to pause and reflect and go back and kind of refresh yourselves and remind yourself on that. That's fine. But I want to go through and I want to make sure that you understand that this pact that Hitler made was never going to be upheld until the very end of the war. Hitler did this only to stymie off the Soviets in his invasion of Poland. He knew he wanted to take France and Britain. If he could take them, he could then turn his eye to the Soviets, and that's kind of what his plan was all along. So when it comes down to this war, his eyes now turn, because remember, he takes France, he takes the city of Paris, and he goes to Britain, and he's able to launch a massive air assault, which fails ultimately. He's never able to set foot on British soil. No Nazis sets foot on British soil whatsoever, so he has to now turn backwards to the east. He has no clue kind of what to do at this point. He has an army that's ready and it's in its prime, so he needs to begin his attacks on someone. He can't do it in Britain. He doesn't have anywhere else to go in France, so he goes to the east. All right, so when he goes and he turns to Russia, he needs resources. He's creating his synthetic fuel for his planes, but he needs natural oil that's in the Caucasus oil fields and in southern Russia and the Soviet Union, which is now present-day Ukraine. He needs to get those resources, coal, other resources, steel plants. He needs to be able to get these things for his own possession, for his war, to keep feeding his war machine. Remember, wars are not won by who has the best soldiers, but who are the best supplied soldiers. That's a key here. Hitler needs to generate supplies. His ability to produce things are being limited because of British bombardment. The British can send bombers across the English Channel into Germany in the North Sea, and they're able to bomb German factories. And so Hitler's and Germany's ability to produce things is really limited. So he breaks his pact with Stalin, and it starts some of the bloodiest fighting in this entire war. I'm going to show you a video in relation to this war, to get some of the details so you can see that here. I know it's kind of pointless for me to show you a video, make a video and show you a video after that, but I just want to kind of touch base so you can kind of hear things and kind of hear my explanations, and if you have any questions, again, please let me know. But at the end of this war, at the end of this turn for the Russians, this eastern assault by the Germans, it costs 9 million Russian soldiers and civilians' lives. 9 million people die as a result of this assault on the Eastern Front. All right, so I'm gonna put the video up. I'll put the times up for you as well. You can see them there on the right, 36:11 to 47:30. And again, you can stop around that time period if you want to keep going. You can. Again, the documentary is the same one we've been watching. I'll kind of reset the link for you as well. But I will also ensure that you have the ability to get some information here as well. All right. The key battle here for this entire thing is the Battle of Stalingrad. The reason why this is the deadliest battle is because, one, Hitler needs this to turn south towards those oil fields, but also this name represents the city's name represents the name of the leader of the Soviet Union, Stalin. So Stalingrad is translated to Stalin City. He needed to maintain the city, because if this city falls in the hands of Hitler, then almost it's like entirety of Russia just capitulates and falls into German hands. Because if the Russians cannot hold this city, which again, think of the symbolism here with the name of their leader being attached to the city, they cannot hold this city. That means that the Russians, if they can't survive enough to fight against the Germans here, then they can't fight anywhere. All right, so this is the ultimate motivator here for the Soviets to not lose. So I will also show you another video clip of this, which kind of focuses on the main character of a movie that was made called Enemy at the Gates. Now, Enemy at the Gates is a movie stars Jude Law, who plays a man by the name of Vasily Zaitsev. In fact, his name is here. This is part of your trivia question. He is the hero of the Battle of Stalingrad, and one of Russia's most decorated soldiers, and his actions have been credited with single-handedly halting the Germans at Stalingrad in terms of him being a sniper, sniping officers, snipers, anyone that he can from leadership standpoint. His mentality was if he can shoot as many officers as possible, you cut the head off the snake can the body can no longer do what the head tells it to. So he killed as many officers as he could to, pretty much, make the Germans look like they were running around with chickens with their heads cut off. So what I want you to look up here is in his career, at least for the Battle of Stalingrad, and I'll allow you within a number of 10 to 20 people, all right, for this correct answer. How many total German soldiers did he kill in his career during World War II? Research that number. Again, you look at the name, make sure you kind of spell it correctly when you go on a Google. But look at that name and answer that trivia question. All right, again, try to keep up with these trivia questions to receive some prize at the end. I'll make sure that you are rewarded greatly for this. All right, this is not really a grade. It's just something that keeps you looking into things and seeing the aspects of the war that you didn't know existed. All right, have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll post the videos below this one. Actually, I'll show you a portion of the video for the Enemy at the Gates movie as well, so you can see those things and you can see how they played out. And the reason why the Russians lost so many soldiers is because they actively killed their own soldiers that didn't do what they wanted. So this is something that they dealt a lot with. But 9 million lost for this side of the war. Hopefully you again, have a great weekend, and I'll post all those videos on Canvas below this one. Have a good one. Bye.